Hello, everybody. I last night actually I took pictures of Andromeda Galaxy. I'm gonna process them. I'm gonna go through the processing. Um, I'm not going. There's things that take a while to do the processing. I'm going to pause the video in those long times. Um, so I'm going to get started. First thing I'm going to do is blink these uh, images. So uh, I'm in Pixinsight, and I'm going to go to all processes and blink. Now I've already done this, so um, these are all good images. I'm going to add in the ones I removed. I took almost 198, I think, images, and little more than half of them were what I consider decent. Um, and the rest of them I'm not going to use because they're just not very good. And I'll show you. I need to open this up. I'm going to go up here. I'm going to add those that I took out back in, and I'll show you what I mean uh, about them not being good. Of course, whenever you get the images in here, you want to do the stretch on them, and I'll show you that as soon as it's done loading the images. Okay, this button right here, you click on that, and it does a automatic stretch. Screen transfer functions, basically what it is. I'm probably gonna have to do this again because I'm on the first one. I think the as I go along here, they're gonna get dark. No, that'll be all right. This is something interesting to me. I'm going to back up here a little bit. I don't know whether these are. That one was probably a plane. Well, maybe not. I don't know. They're two parallel um, lines. I guess it could have been two satellites. It's possible. Um, Usually, when you see parallel lines like that, it's a plane. They're that close together. But usually a plane, they'll be blinking, so you'll see a dot, 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 dot. Anyway, here's a bunch. There's one straight across there, one there, one there, one there, one there. There's five in this picture, and there's four, I think, here. One, two, three, four. Now, I don't know if those are satellites or um, meteors. Could be meteors. There's one, two, three, four, and I see quite a few of these that are, fairly parallel. There's one there, so whenever I do the processing, all that will be taken out. So I'm going to run through these, and I'm going to show you where it starts getting bad, and you probably seen it. I'm going to go down here. Okay, this one here is not bad. And this one is a little bit darker, just a little bit. And then that's a little bit darker. And that's a little bit, it's getting fainter. The galaxy is getting fainter. We had some clouds move in last night. So from 56 on, I removed them. You can see here, some of them are just really bad. I mean, if I go back to the last one, you can't hardly even see the galaxy there. You can see a little bit there. I'm not going to use those to process. So the ones that from 56 on, and yeah, I had 97. 98 actually, because it starts at 0. I had 98 pictures, and 56 of them are good, and the other 42 are not good. So I'm not going to use them. All right, I'm going to clear that out and close that. I'm going to open the bash processing. This sometimes takes just a little minute or two to open. All right, I'm going to clear this out. I'm going to hit reset. I was doing some other stuff there, and I want to go back to factory default values, reset all. I'm going to clear all the file lists, and I'm going to purge cache. I want to start out fresh. Okay. So now I'm going to add my darks in, and I got to remember where they're at. They are, I believe, right here. Nope, they're not there. They are on a different drive. I'm going to pause this video, and whenever I find them, I'll start back up. Okay, I found them, and they're 300 seconds, which is 5 minutes, which matches my lights. So I'm going to select them all and open those, and that puts those here in the darks. Now I'm not going to use bias frames. I'm going to use what they call dark flats, and they are on this drive here. E. There. And well, I thought they were. Okay, I'm going to pause this again until I find them. Okay, I found them. They were on the same drive as my darks. Imagine that. My flats are around 1.1 seconds, somewhere around. You don't have to be exact. So I'm going to use these dark flats right here. And then the flats I took last night are the ones I'm going to use. So they're going to be on the G drive and astronomy pictures. I take a lot of pictures. And then there, and here's flat. And see 1.10. And I'm going to use those flats right there. Okay, now I want to add my lights. And if you notice, I'm not changing these tabs up here. It's automatically doing that as I go along. So I'm going to go here to the light, and I'm going to go to Andromeda, light, gain 90, 300 seconds. I'm going to select all these. Control A to select them all. 56 light frames were added. That's pretty good. That's a decent amount. That's not really that much. Let's see, 5 minutes. 5 minutes per image times 56. 280 minutes divided by 60 is 4.6 hours. That's not terrible. That's not as many as I'd like to have. I'd like to have quite a bit more. Okay, I've got that in there. I'm going to go to calibration. I'm going to click on these. This is the lights. I got 56 of them, 300 seconds a piece, blank filter. That blank filter, that means the way I've got my filter wheel set up, I've got a space that's called blank. There's no filter in it. It's just straight. This light comes straight into the camera. And if you notice, this turns green, it means it's going to use that. And that turns green, it means it's going to use those. Now, if I click on this flat, you'll notice these 20 frames here turn green. It means it's going to use those. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to come over here to the output pedestal settings, and I'm going to change that to literal value. I'm going to set mine at 500. That might be a little bit high, but it'll be all right. Cosmetic correction, I'm going to uncheck the automatic, and I'm going to change that to CC. Okay. Post calibration, I'm going to enable the drizzle mode. I'm going to leave that at 1. I'm going to undo the fast mode. I don't know whether the fast mode makes things any, just doesn't do as good or not. I don't know. I've never really compared fast mode to not fast mode, and so I don't know what the difference is. I know fast mode is faster. It does process all your images a lot faster, but I'm not sure that it's not as good a quality. All right. Otherwise, it would always be that way if the quality doesn't suffer. All right. Now, I always go to where my lights are at and create a new folder, and I always call it Pixinsight. So I know what I'm doing. And I'm going to select that folder for this is my output directory. And I'm going to hit the diagnostics, and it says drizzle integration of light frames, blank filtered binding one, blah, 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 blah. I've got drizzling turned on. That amount of frames may significantly impact the execution time. It will. It definitely will make it a lot longer. So I'm fine with that. I'm going to go ahead and click run. And then it's telling you the same thing. Oh, this note, no bias frames have been provided. Well, that's true. I didn't provide any bias frames. I'm using dark flats. All right, now I click continue, and it's going to run through this stuff. I'm going to go ahead and pause it here. Actually, I'm going to tell a little story. I'll still end up pausing the video because this will take a while. The other night I had a dream, and I was looking down on a highway. It was like an interstate, and you know how you have all kinds of different interstates going over each other. It was like that. There was roads going every which way. There was one that was huge. It was maybe 10, 15, 20 lanes wide. And the whole thing was just bumper to bumper, and it was all demons. They were all going the same way, and they were black, and they were just going. And something caught my eye, and I turned my head, and I turned back, and there was like a cover over that highway that I just saw. And so they were hidden. And then I woke up. But that got me thinking about how many demons are in this world and how they are hidden. They deceive you. They are everywhere. And not one demon everywhere. I mean, one demon can only be in one spot, but there's demons everywhere. So, just think about that. All right, I'm going to pause this, and I'll be back whenever it's done. Okay, this is done. Excuse me. You can see it took 1 hour and 33 minutes and 21 seconds to process this. If you look at this, I started out with 56 and it didn't reject any of them. If I would have left those pictures, those images that I took out, if I would have left those in, most of them, maybe not all, but most of them would have been rejected. Okay, so now I'm done with that. And we're going to bring up I'm going to just exit out of this. And that saves whatever settings you've got. It saves it just the way it was whenever you close it. So I'm going to open that up, the master. Okay, 1110, Andromeda, Pixinsight, master. Now we've got several masters here. You can see this is the local normalization reference. This is the master dark. This is also a master dark. One is going to be 300 seconds, and the other is going to be 1.11 seconds. See here, it says that, well, if I can get it, there it is. That it shows that's 1.11 second long, and this master is 300 seconds long. And then we've got the flat, and then we've got 4 different light masters. I'm gonna pull this over here so we can see exactly what we got. This is just the raw master. This one is the auto cropped master. This one is the drizzle master, and this one is the drizzle auto cropped master. I'm going to open the regular auto crop. We'll see what it looks like. And since it auto cropped, you don't get the I'll open just the regular one. You'll see it shows you what was rejected, and this is the high rejection. If we stretch that, we're going to see a bunch of lines. That's all those things that the satellites or whatever they are that we were seeing in those images, they're taken out. And this one is the low rejection. There won't be much there. You see, those are probably hot pixels. And then this is the actual image. That's green. Now, if you look, this shows what was cropped. Basically, it wasn't a whole lot. And this one will be, and there, it's just a little bit smaller. You can't really tell much difference there between them. If I line up the edge right there, you can see over on the right hand side, that's how much it took off of both sides. It took that amount off the whole picture. So if you cut that in half, it took that amount off of each side. And down at the bottom, same thing. So I'm going to go ahead and close the auto cropped one. I'm going to open up the screen transfer function, and I'm going to unlink it. And then when we stretch it, this is what we get. That kind of lines up the channels so that you don't get all that green. All right. So that looks pretty good. I wished that I would have turned the camera a little bit so that it would have went from this corner to this corner. I'm going to lose a little bit of galaxy down here at the bottom, but it's not going to be bad. All right. So first thing I'm going to do is I don't think I even need to run background extraction on this. It looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and do it just to show you Okay, so I'm going to set tolerance to 10. This shadows relaxation. Here, I'll just reset this. This is what you normally would see, 0.5 and then 3. I'm going to set this to 10. I'm going to come down here to sample generation. I'm going to set this to 20. I'm going to set this to 20. I'm going to hit generate. Now, you don't want your sample points to be in the galaxy, and you don't want them to be on stars. If we look at different ones, that one's on a star, so I'm going to move that. You can tell over here, there's a star there in that picture. I'm going to move that down there. That's pretty good. And that's good. That one I'm going to move up a little bit. There we go. If you have a big star, you want to get out of the sample. That doesn't have any. That's got a little bit of a big one. I'm going to move this down a little bit. There you go. Good. And this takes a little while to do. There's 3 stars. Let's see if I can. There we go. I moved it up just a little bit. Now, the ones in the galaxy, I'm just going to delete them. I'll show you once I get there. I'm going to go ahead and pause this video till I get all these done, and then I'll unpause it. Okay, I've got all the sets, all the sample points set. If you notice, I don't have any here in the galaxy. I'm going to turn off the stretch, and you'll be able to see. Oh, I made a copy of this before it's down here. I'm going to try a couple of different things. You'll see there's no sample points where the galaxy is at. All of these, even with as many stars as is in this image, it was a little rough sometimes, but I found places where there was maybe 1 little star or 2 little stars. That's okay. You don't want any big stars in there. And you can see this point down here in the very bottom right-hand corner has no stars in it. I had a lot of sample points just like that. Nothing in there. Okay. Then we go down here to target image correction. I'm going to change it. I'm just taking out, there's a little bit of gradient on the right side. It's a little bit lighter than it is on the left. So I'm going to do subtraction, and I'm going to do normalize. And sometimes I will replace the target image. Most of the time I don't, because if I want to run this once and then make changes, I just delete that image and make the changes and run it again. Where if I replace the target image and I don't like it, I have to go back, which I guess either way. So I'm going to go ahead and hit replace target image. I'm going to come down here and click on the execute, which is the check mark, and it's going to do it. And you'll see it's going to show us what background it extracted, and then it'll give us a new image. Okay, this is the background that it extracted, and you can see it extracted. Actually, it extracted not much of anything there in the galaxy. It extracted a little bit here and quite a bit over here. Now, I'm expecting this to be pretty even, and it's pretty even. That looks really good. So I'm done with that. Now, the reason I made a copy is I'm going to show you. Let's go this way. I'm going to show you that was dynamic background extraction. This is automatic background extraction. And on this, it automatically does pretty much everything. We're going to see what the, whoops, I messed up. And you'll see what I did wrong. This is just the background. It didn't create a new image. So I need to come down here to target image and subtraction and normalize, and I'm going to replace that one. And I'm going to run that. In Pixinsight, you usually have different buttons down here at the bottom. The triangle one, you drag off, and it does whatever it is that you're wanting to do. Or you can actually drag this off down here, and it creates a new instance of it. And if I close this, and you can see I double clicked on it and it pops up. You can, and it's already got the settings that I had in the other one, in this one. That's why whenever I opened the DBE, it it had 2 here and 6 here, because I had saved this that way. I don't really remember why I saved it that way, but I did. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this. Now we can, if I pull this over here, they'll make them both the same size. I can line them up. Well, that's a little harder than it looks. There we go. Okay, now you can tell this is the one I copied because it says clone. This one says just blank RGB. Okay. They're lined up, and I'm going to hold the, I think it's the Windows key and page down. Nope, control and page down. Yep, control and page down. You can see the difference here. This one is the one I did with DBE, and this one is the one that the automatic background extraction did. And the automatic background extraction was not as good. You can see bands like right through here and right through here. How come it's not doing it now? Oh, I was hitting the wrong thing. There. See, you can see the difference. I like the DBE. There's also a, I'm going to go ahead and close that. Yes. There's also a process that's called gradient correction. I really haven't used it. I need to kind of get into that and see what it's like. All right, I've got the dynamic background extraction done. I'm going to, and I've got these set up pretty much just the way I use them. Not exactly like I did the STF. Of course, it's almost always first. And then I drop down here to DBE. Now I'm going to go up here to Blur Exterminator. And I'm just going to leave everything the way it is and pop it on over here. Now, what Blur Exterminator does, it's a fantastic little program. It's not free. The Blur Exterminator, Noise Exterminator, and Star Exterminator are all fantastic. What Blur Exterminator does is it actually deconvolutes the stars. They'll get a little bit smaller. They'll get a little bit sharper. You'll see. And this takes a little bit of time. It's not too bad. We're up to 30% now. If you look down right down here, I'm going to turn on, I think. Nope, that's not what I want. This is what I want. I want my cursor to be yellow so you can see where I'm at. We're at 90% now, so 98, 99, 100. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close Blur Exterminator. And I'm going to go back. And you may not be able to see it. I can see it pretty decently. But let's get in here closer to that star right there. If you see how they get smaller, they get smaller, larger, smaller. So that's what it does. That's what Blur Exterminator does. And then I'm going to go ahead and run Noise Exterminator. And I'm going to leave it at AI version 2. We'll see what it does. This, wished I would, well, I can, after it's done, I can zoom in and show you. This is a magnificent little program. It smooths out the background so good. I wish I had a little bit faster computer. I've got okay, here we go. Now, see this background. This is before, and you can really see major difference. I mean, it's amazing what that little program can do. Okay, so now, I'm trying to decide whether I want to take the stars out and, well, first thing I need to do is to run photometric color calibration. And this will calibrate the images. So if I have this linked up, it's green. After I run the color calibration, it won't be green anymore. So let's go ahead and do that. Now the screen transfer function got that all jacked up. It'll be all right. I haven't done any actual stretching yet. What the screen transfer function, all it does is it gives you a visual. It doesn't actually change the stretching on the image at all. So this doesn't take very long. We're at 60-some% now. Well, that's on one step. It's got several steps here. There's 100%. And it's going on to the next step. The Pixinsight it's a little expensive, but it's got a large learning curve, but it's just fantastic. Okay, you can see how the green dots follow right along that line. That's what we want. We want those tight. These other ones, they're out there a little bit, but that's okay. We're mostly right along that line. I'm going to go ahead and close that. I'm going to close that. I'm going to stretch this again. Now, I'm going to link that, and you'll see it didn't change. Now we're color calibrated. Okay, so now I'm going to turn off the screen transfer function. I'm going to go ahead and close it. Oops. And I'm going to open histogram transform. I'm going to start the preview. I'm going to come down here and check the track view. And what that does, as I'm moving this, you'll see the histogram start moving to the right. And that's what this check mark does. If I don't have that on, you won't see anything. I'm going to move it a little bit and you'll see. The picture's changing, but my histogram's not moving. Turn that on, you can see that the histogram's starting to move. I'm going to go ahead, I would stretch it just a little bit, and I'm going to hit the apply button. And I'm going to go ahead and apply that one again. Hey, look at that. All right, so now I've got a pretty good distance from the left. This distance right here. I really want that closer. So I'm going to reset this, and that moves that back. And then I'm going to bring this to the left a little bit more. And you can see the galaxy starting to really come out. I'm going to move the black point to the right to move that whole histogram. Too far. Move that whole histogram to the left. And that closes that gap up. I'm going to go ahead and apply that. I'm going to reset it. And I'm going to bring some more up. That is really looking good. Okay. I do see some green in there. And if you look at the histogram, green is popped up there. We'll fix that in a little bit here. I'm going to apply that. And then I'm going to close this and open curves. I might work back and forth a little bit. And you want to make sure you hit the real-time preview button and the check mark. Did you see that? The histogram will pop up here whenever I click on this. See, there it is. So now I know where I'm at. I'm going to start increasing the saturation. I click on the saturation button down here. I'm going to bring that up. Look at those colors coming out. Yes. I'm liking this. Even I was thinking about, maybe getting more data, but this is looking pretty good. I still see some green in that, but other than that, it's looking good. I'm going to go ahead and apply that. I'm going to reset it. And I'm going to bring up SCNR. And I'm removing green. We'll see. Oops. I was going to pull it over on the preview, and that wouldn't work. Look at that. Took that green right out. Look at those colors. All right. Now I'm going to bring up some more saturation. Look at that. That looks so good. I'm impressed. All right. Oh, that's not what I want. I wanted to reset that. That's a little too much. That there is a little too much. I'm going to go ahead and close that. I'm going to go back one step. I like that. The stars look good. The stars are colorful. The galaxy is colorful. So I'm not gonna remove those stars. Now, these dust lanes are there. You can see them, but they're not real prominent. So I'm going to run a script in utilities called Dark Structure Enhance. And I'm just going to click. I'm going to leave it at the default. Well, I guess I'm not. I'm going to leave everything at default and just click OK. We'll see how this comes out. you'll see these dust lanes pop out a little bit. They're just about done. I was saying Pixinsight, it's a little bit expensive, but there's nothing that beats it. It's got a pretty good sized learning curve. I've had it for a few years now, and I learned something new with it just about every time I use it. Now, if you look at these dust lanes, I'm going to close as a preview. If you look at these dust lanes, they really popped out. I'm going to go back and I'm going to go forward again, and you can see them just really come out. See that? All right. So now I'm going to try doing HDR multi-scale transform. I'm going to take this up to 8. We'll see how that looks. And this will probably, that bright core, it should take that down some. I need a drink. Man, I like that. Yeah, see, that took the whole thing down. Now you can see the core now. Before it was kind of blown out. That don't look too bad. I think I will try doing the histogram again and bring everything up a little bit. Not a whole lot. Right there. I like these blues, yellows. Okay. I did not do what? I didn't apply it, did I? Bring those up. I'm going to apply it. All right. That looks so good. Now, let's try. A lot of this stuff is I just get an idea and I try it. There's one that's called local histogram equalization. And, oh, that's ugly. I got to bring this up. And, yeah, I'm not sure I'm going to like this. I want to take this to 1.5. Yeah, that's not too bad. I'm going to bring the amount down. Right there. Do a little more. That ain't looking too bad. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and apply that. You see the core is kind of getting blown out again. Well, I don't want to take it up any more than that because I want to be able to see the core. I'm going to try to bring those blues out whenever this gets done here. We'll see what happens. I may end up taking the stars out because if I bring the blues up here, it's also going to bring up these stars that are already got blue in them. And it's really almost too much blue. But I want the blue in the galaxy to come up. So I probably will take the stars out. And I should have done that a long time ago. We're getting there. I really enjoy astrophotography. It's a really rewarding hobby. I, I started out with one little telescope, and I took some pictures with it, and the telescope was fine. I didn't know what I was doing. And the pictures did not turn out real well. I was using a DSLR camera attached to my telescope, and okay, I'm gonna kill that. And whenever, when I started learning things, it made a whole lot of more fun. All right, I'm gonna try. Oh, I'm gonna remove those stars. I'm going to. So this will take a little bit of time, and I'm probably going to pause the video while this works, because Star Exterminator just takes a little bit of time to do. So I've got it started. I've got generate star image done, and I should have unscreened the stars. We'll see how it works. Large overlap, that gives you a better image in the end, because it makes the tiles larger. They overlap larger, more. I think without that checked, it's like 20%. With the overlapped, with the large overlap, it's like 50. Yeah, down here it says overlap 0.50. And it just gives you a better result. So I almost always have large overlap on. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this, and I will be back when it's done. Okay, it is done. I'm going to go ahead and close that. You see, this is the star field, and this is the galaxy without any stars in it. I'm going to shade that. And now I can work on just the galaxy without messing with the stars. I'm actually going to, on the stars, I'm going to bring the saturation down just a little bit, because it really is a little bit too much. So I'm going to bring that down. It's a little too much down. About right there. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to shade that again. Now, what I'm trying to do is bring out the blues. So I'm going to click on that so that I've got it selected. I've done that before. I've shaded this. This is still selected. So I bring up curves and I start messing. I do that and I get the stars, not what I'm wanting to get. So I'm going to bring up the blue. It's about right there. Just a little bit. Reset that. I'm going to bring up saturation. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Now, if you notice, the background started getting blue. So I'm going to put another right there. I'm going to bring the blue, the dark part of the blue, I'm going to bring it down. Yeah, that's kind of, oh, that's not what I wanted to do. That's, all right. Now I made a mistake. I'm going to remove that, and it's going to take it right back to that. Okay, now I'm going to apply that. I'll need to be in the blue space, not the saturation space. I'm going to reset that. And I'm going to come over here to blue, and I'm going to bring up my histogram. See, now I can see where I'm at. This is the light. Towards the left is darker. I'm going to put a spot right there. Oops. I need to select to put a spot there. I'm going to bring this down like so. That looks pretty good right there. Yeah, I like that. I'm going to reset that. And I'm going to come back over here to saturation and bring that up a little bit. Just a little bit. That looks really good. Okay. That is looking really good. Now, I'm going to try. I don't know how this is going to work. I don't want that big. I don't really want it that big. Let's go that way. I'm going to try something here that I'm not sure if it'll work or not. If this doesn't work, I've got a different way of doing it. I want to combine those back. So I'm going to come to image blend. Right there it is. And I'm going to select integration. And I'm going to select integration stars. Actually, I got those backwards. It doesn't really matter, I guess. Let's see if it matters. Integration stars is the background. And integration is foreground. Yeah, I don't think it really makes any difference. That looks so good. Okay, now I've got the blend mode set to screen, which is what if it was anything else, it just wouldn't work. If you do like overlay, that's what you get. If you do let's do hard light, you get that. Screen is what you need. And then I'm going to collapse this so I can get down here to the check mark. And I'm going to check mark, click the check mark, and it's going to combine those two images. And there we go. There we go. I like that. I've done Andromeda Galaxy several times, and I think this is probably one of my best ones. I really like it. My other Andromeda Galaxies, I haven't been real happy with, but I like this one. This one looks really good. All right, so I'm going to wrap it up there. I think I might put this on my in my gallery to sell. If you want to go to if you want to go to buy one of my pictures, I've got quite a few pictures in my gallery to sell. If you go to godscreationobservatory.com, there's a link there. It says buy images or buy image or something like that. You can click on that and it'll take you right to my here. Let's do this. I'll show you. godscreationobservatory.com and buy images right here. And this takes you to get off there. This takes you to my gallery. And yeah, see, there's my that before now, this was my best Andromeda Galaxy. But I've got all kinds of pictures on here images you can buy. And they'll send it right to you. You can pick what size you want. I've got quite a few. Okay. I'll go back and yeah, I like my website. I've I've worked on it quite a bit. I still got more work to do, but yeah, this is pretty cool. All right, so um, thanks for joining me. I hope you learned something. Um, I hope you can see what it really takes to get these images. That I had 56 images. I started out with 98. Had 56 images, and I stacked them together. And what that does, it doesn't make it brighter. What it does is gets rid of the noise. Um, and you can still see that I had a lot of noise still after 56 images. I still had a lot of noise in there, and I had to use something to take the noise out. If I had only 20 images, the noise would be a lot more, and so it would be harder to get the noise out. I wouldn't be able to get it all out. When you've got noise, you don't have signal, so it's a lot harder to stretch it and get all the colors and all that stuff. So there's a lot involved. I've learned a lot doing this, and I hope that you can appreciate the kind of work that goes into making these images. And I'm not real good. I've got a long way to go to be good. There's people out there that take absolutely fantastic images, but I'm learning. I'm doing better. I'm getting there. So anyway, for tonight, I'm gonna call it quits, and hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope that you learned something. And I will talk to you later. I will see you later. Um, God bless you, and have yourself a fantastic day. Bye.